No problem. Well, I was having problems with the Zoom on mine too. The link never came on, so I switched to my cell phone. Good afternoon, Kansas City, and welcome to Up Close and Culture with Dr. Carrie Sack. Uh, it is definitely a colder and rainy Sunday, but still, we are happy and very blessed to be here. And I am so excited that you took yet some more time and another Sunday to join in here with me on my show. And I would like to say that today is actually a piggyback on a show that I did previously regarding Ford Motor Company and the patent that they were trying to get as as far as how they could navigate your car and pretty much take control over the entire automotive system. If you remember, we talked about that. If not, I will drop the link into it into the chat, so you'll be able to see it. Because I'm not going to go over everything on it, but you remember I told you that there were going to be some things that were going to be happening in the next probably few months, and certainly enough it is. And that's what we're going to get in today. But first things first, what I like for you to do is wherever you are logged on to us at, we thank you, but we want everyone to know that we are across all of the social media platforms. If you put in KUAW Radio, that's for knowledge, understanding, and wisdom, you can find us on or at KUAW Radio on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and the TuneIn app. And if you look on your screen, you will also see the telephone number where you can call in to the show. So please, if you are logged into us, again, we thank you, and make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to the station, as well as visit us on KUAW.org. So make sure that when you share, that if you share the platform and when you share the platform, it helps the information to spread. It keeps us in the algorithm, and of course that attracts advertisers, which of course is always a good thing for Black-owned businesses, but also it lets you know that whenever we post any new and amazing content, and to let you know when we go live. So again, look for us across all of the socials on KUAW Radio. With that being said, we are all a part of the culture, whether we realize it or not. The culture impacts our lives in every regard, from radio to internet to entertainment to the news. And this is where we talk about it every first and third Sunday on Up Close and Culture with Dr. Karasek. So I know that I put it on my TikTok. I'm not even sure we're on TikTok or not, but that would be a pretty cool platform too. We should be. We should, Pops. You should get on TikTok. And then also Threads too. Threads is through Instagram. I don't know if you've seen it, but that's good as well. And then also another is a Black-owned a social media site that I want to say is Isaac Hayes' son has it, but it's called Fanbase. I know I've been on it for a little over a year now, but good platform that I've seen a lot more traction on as well. Like I said, I've been on it for over a year. But that just gives everybody more options. I'm seeing a lot of people go over to those platforms, and that's why I'm mentioning it, because a lot of people are exiting the Bird app and the Clock app, like I said. So we just want you to know that we're going to be everywhere. Wherever you go, we're going to follow it. We'll already be there. So wherever you see KUAW Radio, just make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe and follow all of our amazing content. So back to Ford Motor Company. And the show that I did regarding them. And so just to give you a little bit information about it, for those of you who are new. Yes, I see you on TikTok. The Ford Motor Company was trying to, well, they put in a patent. And this patent pretty much was to give them carte blanche over the self-driving aspect of vehicles. Now we know that self-driving isn't anything new. Especially if you were a part of the military, then you knew that all of this rolled out long before it came into the Teslas and the backup assist that's on the foreign vehicles like BMWs or Mercedes. But this is just so far advanced from that, because what Ford Motor Company wanted to do is to, I guess they're claiming that they actually came up with this technology. That I cannot confirm or deny. I have no idea. But what they want to do is to be able to patent that technology. And they were saying the way that they put it out in the beginning, you know, they always give you the peaches and cream in the beginning. So they were saying how them patenting this information would be just wonderful for all of Ford's customers, because say you had a teenager who maybe fell asleep or was tired coming home from work, or you have an elderly parent and something happened to them behind the wheel and you weren't able to get to them. Or say you have some rambunctious children. I think they even gave an example with a pet. And something happens and maybe they, you know, reach over the seat and hit the gear shift and, you know, make the car go out of control, which I thought was just insane, because they really don't even have the gear shifts where they used to have them before. So that the odds of that happening was just not going to happen. But either way, Ford said that it would be beneficial in emergency circumstances like that if they are monitoring your driving habits and if they are actually monitoring your car and you give them permission to take control of the wheel, then they would be able to stop those kinds of things from happening. Essentially being able to save your life, save the life of your child, save the life of your dog, save the life of your parent, or even save your life. So that's how it was presented. They gave a lot of examples. And this is in articles that I read. What it reads in the patent, where you actually have to give all of the information, and then also through a legislation, because let me talk about that for a little while, because people don't realize that when changes like this come about, it has to go through the government as well. And that is because the cost to these things. First of all, you have to make sure that it can be regulated, meaning that the government can step in and say, okay, this is safe for the community. So when you go and say the government says that it's safe, well, if it's going to be put into vehicles, who's going to absorb all of that cost? What does it look like? What are the specs, and that's how it's built and how it's going to be rolled out? And not only who's going to build it and who's going to regulate it and so forth and so on. So the government plays a large part in that. One example would be seatbelts. You know, no one just said, okay, we're going to come up with the seatbelt and throw it in a car. A lot of things and a lot of regulation and a lot of time went into that, because also, like I said, with everything that happens, there is a cost. Nothing happens for free. And so companies try to mitigate that cost. And they're going to do it either way, but any way that they can. But they are also going to look at how it's going to be beneficial to them. And in the capitalistic society that we live in, whatever is beneficial to a company means that the consumer, you and I, are the ones who are going to absorb the cost. So again, that is also regulated, because at the same time that this technology, and I'll just go back to the seatbelts, you know, seatbelts definitely save lives. So you don't want someone to come up with a seatbelt, they patent it, they are the only ones that can use it, and then they start selling it for these astronomical prices, and then they throw it in a car, and they make it law that you have to have it, that you have to wear it. So in order to buy a car, then you have to have one with seatbelts, because now it's law that you have to wear a seatbelt. And so the government steps in part also to say, yes, you own all of this. Yes, it's mandatory that they have it, but that does not mean that you're about to jack up the price of a car for $10,000 for something that people have to have. So back to this subject, that is how when you spell out a patent, and I don't know if any of you all have ever gone through patents or trademark. That's what I meant to say, the trademark as well, because I think that they may have the patent to some part of it, but it's the trademark that they're trying to get as well. And if you know anything about trademarks, trademarks have varying categories. So you can trademark your name or anything that you want to trademark if you own the rights to it. However, like for my business, I did the logo for my business. So it is mine and my name is mine. So, I mean, I've even trademarked Dr. KUAW. So nobody can take that from me. So what happens is there are all of these categories, small categories, and I just don't understand why it's not all put into one, but I just said that we live in a capitalist society. So if you know anything about getting the trademark, you know that each category you have to pay for it separately. So what I mean by that is the trademark and Dr. KUAW. When I trademarked Dr. KUAW, I had to go down the list and I had to be specific about what parts I wanted to trademark. I had to be very specific about what my logo looks like. That's a fee. I had to be, and what by that, I mean color, the writing, the font that I wanted it in, the colors, and everything like that. Then after that, or in that, because it's just one huge list. And I think like the 30s category, for example, might be advertisement. So they have varying categories. How will you use your thing that you are trademarking? And so I would have to go, there's one category for tangible things or advertising tangibles like cups and mugs and those types of things. But then there's a separate category, the same thing, that comes with clothes. So, and that's a totally different category. So I would have to be specific. How are you going to use it on clothes? And I would have to say hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts. That's a different category that I have to pay for. And then also, if you wherever it's presented, you have to have a trademark for it. And so if you could just imagine for a minute, say I didn't get or someone tried to steal my name. Now, they would have to completely change the logo and then, or not completely change the logo, but change the colors, because the font and the colors exactly how it, now trust me, it has to be exactly how you present it to the government is what makes it yours. Now, when the thievery comes in and people come in with the knockoffs and the other things that you might get at the sweatshop, which is why you might get Louis Vuitton instead of Louis Vuitton, they have turned the V upside down or something like that, even though you know that is Louis, or you just see the design, but you don't put LV on it. That is what a trademark does. And that is how people can circumvent, and that's how you tell frauds and counterfeits and everything like that. So the government steps in and regulates these kinds of things, but you are very specific. So I said all of that to say this. When you look at what Ford presented online and in other documents, when they talk about the necessity of this technology, like I said, they presented with the peaches and cream first. But when you read the patent or the trademark, you're going to get all of the information that I just gave you. You're going to find those specifics and you're going to see exactly what the deal is. And so if you tuned into the show, then I went over extensively about how they want to use that technology to repossess your vehicle. And of course, when they talked about the functionality of it, they didn't say anything about repossessing your vehicle. They said they wanted to be able to help you out. Say you're at work and you need to have, say there's a recall on your vehicle, and dealerships only open certain times, and you have to make an appointment, and get in there. But say that you work, especially here in the Midwest, where we're a factory, a manufacturing culture. Most people in that industry work 12 hours, crazy hours, like 3 or 4 days a week. And of course, after that, they're tired, or have children. Life gets in the way with things. But Ford said, well, you know what? You don't have to worry about that. We can take over everything with your car. And as soon as we send you the alert, you can just say, hey, can you take care of this? Or just it's a matter of consent, whether you want to say yes or no. And the car will be able to back itself out of the, let me go back because there was another part. If you say yes. And you know how we plug in everything into our cars, which this freaked me out. It did. For those of you who know, I even did it on Clubhouse. I went out there and there was a few of us on there. I deprogrammed everything. I took all of my business out of my Mercedes. There is nothing, not the locks to my house and everything. And here's digital. So now everything is protected with a code as well. And that is very important. But back to what I was saying. So your car is in the garage. You tell Ford, yes, you can do whatever with my car. Okay, take it to get the oil change or fix the recall on it. Well, Ford can use that technology that you put in your car that is so convenient to you, but you don't think about that you have just given these people all of your personal information. Ford is going to be plugged into your car, which they already have your information, which we're going to get into that as well. But they are able to open up your garage from wherever these people are now, wherever they are, okay? In the Twitter sphere, in the atmosphere. You know how technology works. So I'm just saying that to say this isn't anybody that's going to be local or that's just going to be there, with you. You are going to find that your car or technology is going to open up your garage, back itself out of the driveway or wherever you are and drive itself to the dealership. So whatever Ford needs to do with it can be done. And that is scary. I'm not going to go into it anymore. Like I said, I went over it extensively. If you guys, yes, I'm on IG. I'm sorry, I'm typing in. If you guys see me pausing, I'm talking to my other platforms. But yes, we will talk about this more because I'm only on here for an hour. So we can get into this tonight. But what happens is if you just sit and think about it, this car that no one is in has the capability of unlocking your house and unlocking your garage. And I mean, I know that there are some safety features with it as well, but outside of that, just creeping me out, right? That you're able to access my home like that. But what if your children are in the driveway and they're playing or doing whatever, and then the garage just opens and this car comes flying out, going on about his business. So there are just so many safety concerns with that. And so that is how part of it was presented. But then this is the other part. Now you have these finance companies. You have Ford Motor Credit. But if you're late on your payments and they have decided that, they're not even going through the court process anymore for repossessions or whatever your contract looks like, that varies from state to state, but just assume that you are in a repossession right now. The very same technology that I just spoke to you about, that you got all warm and fuzzy about, thinking that it was going to keep you safe, is the same technology that they are going to use. You're not even safe with taking your car to your friend's house, and putting it in a garage or taking it wherever to hide it or do whatever it is that you do or that people did, with repossessions. It's not going to matter because you've given Ford consent to come get your car. And so even if you are with Ford Motor Credit, you could just be with these little offshot dealerships, and they can come and get your car, or they will connect with Ford, use this technology, or however it will be envisioned if it ever rolls out, which I doubt that it will, because they have been trying forever to get this. And, like I said, it's been out for a while, and the government is saying no. And I hope they continue to say no. But anyway, if they connect with Ford Motor Credit or just Ford itself for the technology, your car will back out of your garage or your parking spot, whatever the case may be, and it will put itself in position to where the tow truck can come and get it. And now they're off with your vehicle. So, I'm certainly not, trying to advocate or champion anybody not paying their bills and do all those types of things. But I brought up the bankruptcy part, I brought up the repossession part to talk about how we also have laws. And that is another reason why the government gets involved. Because say you file for bankruptcy, if anyone knows about bankruptcy, it doesn't matter if you file chapter 7, 13, 11, whatever. As soon as you file bankruptcy, as soon as it goes in, and you have a case number, you are protected. And you are protected up under a statute called an automatic stay. And what an automatic stay does, it tells everyone that owes you money or is trying to garnish your money or garnish your paycheck or repossess or foreclose on you. The automatic stay means stay away, okay? This person is in bankruptcy, they are protected by law, so you can't, you have to cease and desist from doing all of those things. So say that as soon as you go and the default on the loan, whatever the case may be with this car, this vehicle that you have with Ford, they can use that technology and take your car, and they know all of the conditions, everything that's going on with your car, and they can make it very easy for, say it's a high-end Ford car. If they want it and can resell it, and then they're again start hiring all of these private tow truck companies, or they can have the car to drive itself back to the dealership, right? Or they will sell your car. Say they don't want it. Say it's an old Tempo, or what is something Ford don't make anymore? They make Focus. God, I can't think of that little car that they put in place of the Focus. But either way, say it's something that they know that the resale value isn't going to be high on, so they will sell it to probably a smaller dealership or even a tow truck and junk it for parts. Well, they are going to assist that tow truck in getting your vehicle. But if you file for bankruptcy, then you are protected. And they should not be able to do that. They aren't able to do that. So that is another conflict with this sort of technology, and how it's not only regulated on the road, but how does it just affect and protect all of your rights just as a person, as a citizen, and how does it protect your privacy as well, which is what we're going to get into today. And another big part of it, and I'll say this before I go on off to the new mess, as I call it, because it's a lot. They wanted to make, I don't know why I'm saying ED, because they want to be able to control not only the way your vehicle drives, but every single thing about it. So if you are in a repossession, you are driving your car, they want to be able to take control of that vehicle while you're driving it. Leading up to that, they want to be able to send you through your car, which can just be so embarrassing, or even uncomfortable, even if you're not with anyone, but say you're riding down the road with your friends, and then this message comes up in your car going, your payment was due 15 days ago. And you never know when these alerts are going to come. And so you have that going on. So then there's written in the trademark that they also want to be able to start to make the car uncomfortable for you. To me, of course, now this is online, all of this is public information. You guys can go to the government trademark and patent site and read all of this information yourself. But with making your car uncomfortable, they also want to be able to maybe play a chiming sound. They made it sound real pretty. Like I said, this was months ago. I can't remember exactly what it is, but they wanted to be able to send some kind of bell, some kind of warning. And when that doesn't work, so now you got your car talking to you, telling you in front of all of your people and your man or your girl, whatever the case may be, that you're late on your payment. Then they want this bell to start ringing. So when the bell stops ringing, they take it up another level, and they want to be able to make your steering wheel vibrate or do something to alert you and that, hey, we're talking to you. Now, think about it. All of this technology is already in your car. This isn't anything new. Everything that I am telling you right now is already a part of your vehicle. It's just a matter of a corporation wanting to take control of it completely. Okay. So after that, the steering wheel vibrating, they also want to be able to control the temperature in your car. You know, more when I think about it, it just bothers me more and more because say you're in there, say you're neurodivergent, you're on that scale. Neurodivergent are people who ADHD on the spectrum. Say that you are a heart patient, or say that you have, you know, petit mal seizures, and say that certain actions or lights or things of that nature will trigger you, and you're driving, and Ford Motor Company is having your steering wheel shake, or we're here in the Midwest and it's already 5 below zero outside, but then they want to turn the cold air up and make it just unbearable for you to be there, all because you owe them money for your car. So again, it's a lot, and that is what they wanted to do, still want to do with this technology. And like I said, your car is already equipped with this. It is already equipped with all of this. Your car comes like this. My car, and you know, when I read this, I was like, wow, you know, because it's not like they're going to have to call your car in and do anything special to it. It's already there. They just want to up the ante and change how they use the information. And I'm like, my car already with the driver assist on vehicles. If you go on the side of the road, it'll wake you up. It'll alert you. Same technology as when the car drives itself. Like I can just put my car in drive and it's going to back itself out. And I don't have a brand new BMW. I mean, I don't have a brand new Mercedes either, but both of them have the backup assist. All I have, because the cameras, and we're going to get into that. The cameras already on the car, but the car sees how it needs to maneuver. So the car would do it on its own. If you know how to work it and you know what I'm talking about, all you have to do is get next to a parking space, hit the button, and my car will park itself. If I veer off the road, I have the option set where it will just give me that loud sound outside, or it'll make the steering wheel shake, or it'll do both. I have the option to do that. But Ford wants to use that technology for their own purposes, things that you thought were just convenient for you. They want to use it for their own list of reasons and things that you never thought about. So anyway, again, I will drop the link in the chat after we're done, so you guys can go back and watch it. And then I also I can't remember if I did last time or not, put the link to their application for the trademark. But now we move up, because I told you in that, and the way I ended with that, I was like, this is just not going to be good. I'm glad that they haven't been able to go far with it. But there are more things that are coming out of this or coming out of that we don't think about. And lo and behold, there is. And so what is happening now is that they are basically, and the thing about this is that whereas I was speaking about what Ford is trying to do with the trademark, this that I'm speaking about is about every automotive industry corporation or automotive giant. What I'm talking about right now is what I'm about to present to you is not just Ford. So I just want to make that clarification. Ford is putting in, or has put in, for the trademark on all that information. to be able to do those things in your vehicle. This that I'm speaking of are things that are already implemented in your car that you don't think about. And what I'm talking about is then basically your car is a wire trap right now. It is a complete surveillance system. And you wonder how you are able to, well, let me get back to that first. When I say, so you can, follow along with me. When I say wiretaps, you think of a wiretap, you think of someone being on your phone and listening to your conversation. And that's exactly what happens with your car. These dealerships, I don't want to say dealerships don't make cars. These corporations, they have your information already. And say your phone, which pretty much every vehicle does now. My phone is plugged into my car. So you think it's just so convenient to have this hands-free driving. Well, and then read your text messages across the screen. Well, when you put that information in your car, it stays there. And think about this. When you sign your paperwork for your vehicle, you're signing all of these forms with all of this teeny tiny writing on it. Those forms where it says consumer practice and your rights to such and such and thus and so, you are pretty much telling this company, I give you permission to read every text message I put in my car. I am giving you permission to look at every phone number. I am giving you permission to look in the cameras that face outward and inward and not only record my conversations, but to see what I do inside my car and where I'm going, where I frequent. So if you think that is odd when you're online and you can, leave a website and just open another tab and say you're looking up ice cream, something, whatever. And then next thing you know, you go back to the other website of worrying about your business doing something online. And then all of these thousands of commercials come up about Baskin Robbins and Haagen-Dazs and things like that. Well, the same thing happens with your car. That's why you get junk mail. All of this information, the dealerships are selling to other third-party companies. They're not just selling it. They're not just keeping it to themselves now. They are selling it to third-party companies so they will know the demographic. Of course, they make it sound so wonderful, but this is just crazy to me. But they make it, they use all of this information to see who's driving their vehicles, who purchases what and where. And then if they're listening to your conversations, and I'm going to drop all of these links because it's giving you specific dealership, automotive companies. And it's talking about Honda and Tesla and Kia. And it is all, and it's up under personal data. So understand that you need to read these things and you need to know what they are about, because you are basically giving this corporation access to all of your information, and then for them to be able to do with it however they want. In the very beginning, it may say, okay, well, we use this information to keep you aware of recalls, to let you know, we use the GPS system to help you get where you're going safely. So you'll know if there's a wreck, ahead of you. So we can, give you a detour, or we let you know when it's time for oil change, right? And that's wonderful. However, understand what I'm saying. They're doing this now. This isn't anything that they've asked permission for. You've already given the company permission to do this. So they are taking this information and they are reading your text messages, and they are already using it for themselves, and they are also using it and selling it to third parties, third and fourth and fifth and sixth parties. So think about what is listed in your personal data. You have your name, your address, your phone numbers. Think about your text messages. I know that my pharmacy reminds me when I have to have my prescriptions filled. And I love it, especially being diabetic. I mean, I know when my medications are about to run out, but because of certain conditions, and it's just not good for you to procrastinate on things like that. They'll let you know 2 weeks ahead. I'll go ahead and fill this for you. You just type yes, and then I'll tell you again when it's ready to pick up. So you're just doing all of these exchanges on your phone, thinking it's just you and Walmart, or you or CVS, and you and Walgreens. And no, this corporation knows, okay, she takes metformin, or she knows that her child takes this. They have all of this information. And then next thing you know, you have information about, you have all of this junk mail, either in your email, because that's a part of personal data, name, address, email, phone numbers, where you live, everything, your city, state, they even record your signature. But then you look in the mailbox and you have all of this junk mail that you have no idea where it came from. Saying that you want to test out this new glucometer, that's the meter that measures your blood sugar, or do you want to try these circulation socks? People have issues with blood clots and things in their extremities when they're diabetic, and anything related to that. This is how they know. This is how this information gets to you, because these companies are all in your business. They know everything pertaining to you, and they use it for their own benefit. And it's quite scary, because what actually triggered this, well, I don't want to say triggered this, but what really got me talking about this was I found a lawsuit. And this lawsuit was the guy who sued Honda. I want to say it's Honda. And I put that in the link as well. But he lost it. He lost the lawsuit, because what happened, he took his car in, and it was just for some repairs. The person was in his car, whoever was doing the repairs, they read all of the text messages in the car. And understand how this is done, because just as you have a SIM card in your phone that has all of the information about your phone, which actually makes your phone, your SIM card holds your telephone number, and it helps connect with towers. It is that thing that helps you connect with towers. Your car has a SIM card in it that can be taken in and taken out, or put in and taken out, just like a phone does. So if you think of it that way, and even think about all of the pictures that are on your phone, this is the same way. All of this stuff is now in your car, and someone has access to it, someone who you don't want to have access to it. And not only that, they're selling it to other people. And so this guy, when he puts his car in, he started getting telephone calls later on. And it was because of some pictures that was in his car. And it was something else with his vehicle. I can't think of what it is right now. I clicked off of it, but it was just really, really strange. So this gentleman, he went and it freaked his wife out. So she is the one who actually wanted to explore it more. And that's when all of this information came out. So they sued them in the district court. The district court is just, your court in your city. Some people, it may be superior court. Well, again, this is something that needs to be regulated by the government, and it's dealt with federal contracts and doesn't so. So they pushed it up to federal court. And the thing that got me is that he lost both of the cases. He lost the cases as far as it being against the law. And he lost because everything that was done to him, he had given consent for. When you sign those contracts for your cars, your vehicles, whatever the case may be, your information is stored in there. Think about your car right now. Say you got into an accident, or not you get into an accident. I don't want to speak that on anyone, but say something happened to your car, or just say you wanted to get rid of it. How many of you actually go in your car and take out that SIM card that your car has? Because I'm pretty sure none of you even knew your car had a SIM card until I said that. Or how, even other than that, how many people go into their car before they get rid of it and erase all of that data? You go in and you erase all of the old text messages. You go in and you erase all of the phone numbers and everything that's loaded in your car. No one does that. Think about people who can't do that. What about people who have gotten into a car accident, or somebody who's gotten their car repossessed, or something, so your car was stolen and you don't have access to the vehicle to do all of that? All of that information is in there, and it is in there for someone else to gain knowledge of. So not only do you have this information, you give a permission to these big corporations to have this information. They have it. They're selling it to all of these marketing companies, as well as using it using it for your information for their benefit as well. But it just trickles down, because that corporation is selling it to this corporation, selling it to this marketing agency, and yada, yada, yada. Say someone steals your car, they can just turn your car on and then hit the button, and all of this information is stored in your phone. In the phone, the contacts, they know who you know, they know how you know them. Because of course you have in there, this is my mom, this is my boo, this is my dad, this is my job, whatever, whatever. They have all of this information about you. Then they have all of your text messages talking about what you talk to these people about. People can take that information and just not use it for good things. And that is what happened. That is what freaked the wife out. And that is what happened with this man. But with that being said, the reason he lost the lawsuit is two big reasons. The big reason is because, well, you signed all of this paperwork that asked you for permission, to use your data, or they let you know this is how we use your personal data. And you consented to that. You said yes. Okay. Funny thing I found out, though, just a little caveat. The funny thing I found out is that on Tesla, because the person who wrote these articles, they went and they got all of this information and asked these corporations, what do you use people's personal data for? So this isn't speculation. All of these corporations are telling you, and they have to tell you when you ask them, well, they have to tell you the information they collect. They don't always have to tell you how they use it, right? Or they'll be slow about telling you. Well, Tesla didn't. Tesla says that, okay, well, you have the option to sign. You have the option to sign this paperwork or these privacy data. But if you don't, we're going to throw a brick at your car. That's what it actually says at the end of the paperwork. But of course, Elon Musk is a piece of work. But they say all of that to kind of throw you off guard. So because you're in your mind thinking that it's no big deal. You're thinking that it's just consent to make your life easier, make it easier for you to get in your house, make it easier for you to be able to navigate through traffic and those things. But it is so much more than that. And so only three of the well, it's Honda. No, Kia. Kia is the only company that was bold enough in South Korea that was bold enough, but their laws are different over there. The government controls people anyway. But they're the only ones who are bold enough to send back the entire sheet or write up a dossier of what they do with the information in your car. And it is scary. And I'm going to make sure that I post that too, because I think everybody needs to read that. But going back to this mechanic that was working on this man's car, his family's car, he's seen all kind of pictures and things that go on with this man's wife that is none of his business that he's seen. Stuff married people do, whatever. So the reason he lost the case is, and this is a federal judge, but it's the law. Once you read the law, I'll even give you a link to the case. Once you read the law, you gave consent. And the other really big reason, which is another part where the law stepped in, is because even though the dealership, and that's what he did. I keep saying dealership, and I don't mean dealership, I mean corporation. So the way that it broke down in a nutshell is he lost it because he could not prove that the damages that resulted in his information getting to other third parties, and fifth and sixth parties, he cannot link directly back to the Honda Corporation. Meaning that, yes, you bought this vehicle is a Honda. Yes, Honda put the capabilities in your car. Well, you've given them permission to use it, right? So this car has been sold so many times. Say you're probably the third or fourth owner. It has also gone through other companies. Honda has their money. They don't care what goes on with your car right now. All they're responsible for is updating you on recalls. But other than that, the technology is there, and the technology, you signed off on it to give it to someone else, or the person who had it gave it to someone else, and companies still have this information, or you've taken your car to get repaired, you've given them permission to do certain things to your car. They have permission to use it. So you have all of these entities involved. And when you have a lawsuit, you have to be very specific. You have to say, I am suing this person or this company for this reason. And as a result, I want X dollars, or well, you don't have to be specific on the amount. I think for federal suits, it has to be like above $75,000. So you just say, I'm suing for no amount less than $75,000 because I was harmed in this way. And you have to be specific. So you can say that I was traumatized. I had to seek therapy, and I see my counselor 3 or 4 times a week because now I have PTSD, whatever. You can say that it was an embarrassment because now this person has been calling my job. They got the information about my employer, and they've been harassing me on my job. So you have to be able to prove the damages, is what I'm saying. Well, his lawsuit did that, and I think that it was still kind of fuzzy as in what he listed, but he cannot list that specific thing to a specific person or a specific company. And that is why he lost. So at the end of the day, it's not that he wasn't harmed, and it's not that this is not dangerous, but it's the fact that this information is out there that you've already given consent for, and then it's so hard to prove who was who did all of these things to your detriment, because it's sold to so many different entities for so many different reasons, which you still have already given permission for them to have it. So I don't know if he is going to send this to, I'm trying to think if, I guess that maybe we'll have to go to the Supreme Court straight from, because it's federal. It'll skip your state Supreme Court. It will go straight to the actual Supreme Court in DC. But that would be the only recourse. But again, looking at the law and the way this was spelled out, he's not going to be able to get any satisfaction from this lawsuit. And the thing about it, which again is the point of what I'm saying and the point of the show, is that these are things that are happening in your car right now. So this is completely different from the patent and the trademark that Ford has in right now, seeking permission to do these things. These are things that are happening right now to you already, that you are given permission for. So you have all of your personal information out there in your car. And I'm not trying to deter anyone from using any of this technology. Technology is a wonderful thing to have. It's convenient, and it does keep us safe for the most part. I am merely bringing this out to make you aware, and to also make sure that you are using it responsibly, and that you know the consequences of it, and that you are aware of what can happen when you aren't. And so, like I said before, now that you know this information, maybe you want to scale back on exactly what is in your car, or maybe you want to go and maybe change phone numbers or something in your car, so that all of it doesn't just show up on the display. Or maybe you just don't want to use your phone in your car at all, because it's a lot of laws in this in the states for you to not be on the phone, period. So just don't even have it. Don't even use it. If you don't have to, then, don't use it. And there are things that you can do. Another part of it that I want to touch on real quick is that the company, Honda, Nissan, Tesla, they admitted to selling it, or not selling it, but making it available to law enforcement. But Kia, again in South Korea, admitted that they don't even wait for law enforcement to send them a warrant for it. They will simply give away your information with an inquiry. So say that the police call, and I'm not talking about for things that maybe the police would need this information for. Say that they're trying to find your car because it was stolen and they want to use the tracking to get your car. I'm not talking about that. I am talking about to be in your business, basically the same way that they can get a warrant to look through your phone, they would do the same thing with your car. And again, they are not taking this information and they are not going to a judge and getting a warrant, because we do have search and seizure laws, and that is what that falls up under. They will send an inquiry, and Tesla, Nissan, and Honda, all of them were like, okay, and just sent it, to them. So now you have law enforcement in your business as well. And I don't care who it is. This isn't about anybody being criminal. This is a matter of you are protected up under certain laws and you have a right to your privacy. So I really, really hope that you take this information, you read the information I'm going to post, and you look into it, and you just be smart about what you do. When all of this technology is there to make life easier for you or to make things convenient, you need to ask yourself, who else is it making it convenient for? And who else will benefit from this the most? So again, I hope that helps. I hope that if any of you can come up with ways or think of ways that may make this thing safer, I encourage you to, call your legislatures and let them know as well. But then also put it in the chat or email me so we can kind of help each other out and figure this thing out. Because at this point, I just don't want anything. I'm ready to just ride a bike right now because this is just too much. It freaks me out. Everything that, the cars are able to do and not do. And then now I know that they are listening to my conversations, that those cameras are watching me inside my car because they are also following pregnancy apps. There's things on there, the links that I'm going to send you, they are looking at your private activities and whatnot. But just be cautious, be aware, look over the information. By all means, call, vet the information, and talk to your own personal finance company or whoever owns your vehicle, and just get educated about yourself. This is not any advice. This is just merely information for telling you what to do. This is just, merely information for you to be smart and know your options. So I know that was a lot. I'm going to post all of the links in the chat, and feel free to email me if you have any more questions. But as always, I thank you for tuning in to Up Close and Cultural with Dr. Kersey, and I will see you guys in December, and have a wonderful Thanksgiving.